Hey everybody, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Folks, not too much to report on the price. We are still consolidating. We could still see further downside. But as I've been telling you guys, Bitcoin is heading to that oversold zone. And what we've seen historically, there's going to be a reversal sooner than later. So we're near the end, in my opinion, because this thing is near the oversold zone. The daily RSI is showing that. So just hang tight and let's let the market do its thing and let the reset happen, because we are still in a bull market. And I want to share some things here that are confirming that another rally is going to follow the bottoming of the market. So Binance Stablecoin inflows top $1.6 billion, signaling traders positioning for rebound. So users of the Binance cryptocurrency exchange deposited 1.65 billion in stablecoins, a large inflow often seen as a precursor to renewed demand for spot cryptocurrencies following the recent market sell-off. So whales are going to come in, they're going to buy the dips. As I said in yesterday's podcast, the sentiment's going to be reset to maybe fear or neutral of getting away from the greed. And we've seen there's been a lot of wipeout of leverage over the past few weeks. Both shorts and longs have been wiped out. So there's going to be a full reset. And I think that's going to set the table for a massive move upward. Now, on-chain data from Sentiment shows that Bitcoin whales continue to accumulate. Wallets with 10 or more Bitcoin are on the rise. And while you have your ebbs and flows on the micro, you have different folks taking profits at, smaller time frames, the macro trend shows the majority of whales are still holding. So that's a very good sign, and they are accumulating. So the trend is still up. It is not down yet. When it is down, that is when we are near that top zone, and we're going to have to watch it closely. Here's something from the macro. Trump announced that a dividend could be dispersed to the American people from the tariff revenue. Now, put your thinking cap on here. If this is going to happen sometime in Q4, it is a top signal, because retail is going to get money to go put into the markets. Don't get me wrong, not everybody's going to do that. There are people who legitimately need the money. They got to pay bills and all that, right? But people with excess money, what they do, they're going to put it in the markets. So giving people money when the top zone is near is a big top signal. Now, let's see if it happens, right? This is just one factor, but if it does happen, that will be a big confirmation. So this is why on this podcast, we look at everything. We look at the market holistically. On-chain data, charts, the macro, the adoption, the institutional investments, and much more, right, folks? We want to make sure we are as educated and informed as possible so we make the right decisions when it comes to our portfolio. All right, moving ahead, SharpLink buys 56,533 ETH worth $252 million. So SharpLink Gaming is, of course, the publicly traded company that has an Ethereum treasury strategy. It's backed by Joe Lubin and the folks at the Ethereum Foundation. So you are seeing massive accumulation of ETH, similar to what MicroStrategy was doing with Bitcoin. Now you got Tom Lee's firm looking to raise billions to invest in Ethereum. Just yesterday, we talked about Galaxy Digital, Multicoin Capital, and other firms working with Cantor Fitzgerald to raise $1 billion to invest in Solana. So the treasury companies keep buying. Now, that is a very good sign, folks, because they're anticipating higher prices. It means that the bull market's not over. Why would they be buying the top if this was the top, right? That doesn't make sense. So there's still upside here, and that's why they're accumulating at a rapid pace. Now, this is very bullish news and the biggest news of the day. I often tell you guys that governments, the markets, and the economies will all run on blockchain. That is the direction the puck is heading in. Well, today, the U.S. Department of Commerce, headed up by Howard Lutnick, he said that the U.S. will begin publishing economic data on blockchain. Wow. Let me play the clip here for you.
Two more things. The Department of Commerce is going to start issuing its statistics on the blockchain, because you are the crypto president, and we are going to put out GDP on the blockchain so people can use the blockchain for data distribution, and then we're going to make that available to the entire government so all of you can do it. We're just ironing out all the details so we can do it. Patents.
Wow. There you heard it right from the horse's mouth. They're going to put GDP data on the blockchain. It will be accessible to all parts of the government. And folks, I believe voting will be on the blockchain. Our identities will be on the blockchain. All payments to the government will be on blockchain and much more. This is the future, right? I often state that blockchain is the next layer on top of the internet, and it's going to change the way we transact with each other, with the government, and much more. And this is where smart contract technologies come in very handy to be able to eliminate a lot of the middlemen, allow us to trust and verify and have these transactions settled instantly. So incredible, folks. Again, do you see the direction the puck is heading in? That is why I've been saying I'm not just bullish on this bull market cycle, but the future bull market cycles coming up in 2028 and into 2030 and much more. So exciting times ahead, folks. I am really, really looking forward to seeing which blockchains they're going to use, the government that is. That will be very revealing. Now, folks, quick word from our sponsor, and that is Trezor. Trezor makes hardware wallets that make it easy for you to safely store your crypto. Many of you know I'm a believer in self-custody. I have been self-custodying the majority of my crypto assets on hardware wallets for years. And folks, Trezor, they were the pioneers of the hardware wallets and the seed phrase setup. They started the whole thing. So they have this incredible pedigree, and they support a variety of tokens, even the top coins like Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, and much more. Even new tokens like BlackRock's BUIDL. They have a great software called Trezor Suite that helps you to manage all these things. And Trezor's hardware wallets are open source. Folks, they also have a hand-holding service that makes it easy to onboard and set up your device. And don't worry, they don't ask you for your seed phrases, of course. That is something you keep to yourself. And recently, Trezor announced Wallet Connect is now available to Trezor users, and it's bringing hardware wallet security to thousands of on-chain apps. So this is a great integration. And they said here, with this integration, Trezor users can connect to thousands of apps across any major blockchain directly from their hardware wallet. No app switching, no third-party extensions, just a direct line between your hardware wallet and tools you trust. So this is really great. And I love that they're expanding and adding all these functionalities. And folks, if you use my code ThinkingCrypto, all one word, ThinkingCrypto, you can get 5% off your purchase of a Trezor device. I'm a user of the Trezor Safe 5, so I'm a believer in the product. I use it. So if you'd like to learn more, check out the link in the description. Now, folks, we got some very big news around Crypto.com and Trump Media. They have formed a massive partnership. So Trump Media Group, they will build a CRO strategy. So CRO is the native token of Crypto.com, and they're going to buy $6.42 billion for a CRO digital strategy. Trump Media platforms plan to integrate Crypto.com's digital wallet, and they will also integrate the CRO token on Truth Social and Truth Plus platforms. This is a massive partnership, and I don't hold a CRO token, but it's very big for Crypto.com to have Trump media and technology and all these things integrate their technology. It's a big win for them. And once again, I don't hold the tokens. I'm not trying to prop this up or anything. I'm not saying you shouldn't invest in it. I think it could do really well with this news. I think based on the news, it's also starting to rally. So folks, you can go read the full press release, but those are the main highlights. And once again, should do well for the token and for Crypto.com's market share. As there's a lot of people that follow President Trump and use Truth Social and much more. I think they're going to start investing in crypto as a result. So you're seeing all these new on-ramps being built. So this is really, really exciting. Now, speaking of Trump, Canary Capital has filed for a spot Trump coin ETF. Guys, I'm not a fan of this because you all know I'm not a believer in the Trump meme coin. I don't believe any president should have that. Democrat, Republican, independent, whatever. Any government official actually should not have these things. But hey, look, we'll see how this plays out. Hopefully people don't get wrecked. But we saw when Trump got into office, the meme coin was launched, and then Melania, and then Barron. Guys, just be careful, right? I can't tell you don't go invest, but I'm just saying this is very risky. And once again, it has nothing to do with political parties, but no politician should have this. And I don't even know if this is going to get approved because it's, there's no, futures markets and things like that. It's not like it's Solana or XRP. Those are in the mix right now. This could be maybe Canary doing a little bit of a PR stunt, I think. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. All right, moving ahead, more ETF news. Bitwise Asset Management has filed for a spot Chainlink ETF. So the altcoin spot ETF race is heating up. Just yesterday, we talked about Grayscale filing to get an AVAX ETF. So you're seeing diversification and expansion, and these are all top 20 assets: AVAX, Chainlink, HBAR, and much more. So let's see what the SEC is able to get done. One thing, as I mentioned earlier, there needs to be a futures market. That's what the SEC is looking at. And we've seen that Solana and XRP futures have been launched on the CME and other platforms. And this has been the protocol, so to speak, that the SEC is required. You must have a futures market. I think they want to see how that's working and regulated and all the statistics there, and then they make their decision. I do believe they're going to approve the XRP and Solana spot ETFs. So this is very bullish. Now, moving ahead, Hemi closes $15 million funding round ahead of a token launch for its Bitcoin programmability layer. So this brings their total funding to $30 million. So Hemi, which describes itself as the largest programmability layer on Bitcoin, has raised $15 million in fresh funding to advance development of its network that fuses Bitcoin security with Ethereum-style smart contracts ahead of an upcoming token generation. A couple of takeaways here. You see that there are many folks trying to innovate on Bitcoin to make it more programmable, because it's just digital gold, in my opinion. It's hard money. It has a scarcity aspect. It is the most secure blockchain out there with a proof of work and the amount of money and all these things that are in place. But it doesn't have smart contract technology. You can't tokenize on it as other layer ones like Ethereum or XRP and things like that. So folks are trying to build. Will they be successful? We don't know. Maybe they will. We just have to wait and see. But a major takeaway is that a lot of these companies and firms are still getting capital. So if you have an idea, go pitch your idea, guys. It obviously has to be a good one. Put your pitch deck together. And a lot of these VCs and hedge funds, they are giving funding because we are in the early phases of this market and asset class that people recognize the potential and they're taking their bets. So really great on multiple fronts. So the funding arrives as more developers look to bridge Bitcoin's $2.1 trillion network to higher throughput smart contract rails without diluting its security model. Hemi's pitch is that it can deliver EVM level programmability while anchoring finality to Bitcoin, a design it argues will help unlock institutional grade applications on the world's largest blockchain. Very interesting. Speaking of Bitcoin, Bitcoin miner Hut 8 announces 1.5 gigawatt expansion in the US. Stock rises 10%. So Bitcoin miners are doing well. For the most part, they are expanding. They're mining more Bitcoin. And obviously, as Bitcoin's price goes up, the more fees and revenue they're going to make. And of course, some of them are publicly traded, so that should help their stock price. So according to a Tuesday announcement, the expansion is aimed at broadening the company's geographic footprint and target markets where energy demand is rising most rapidly. Hut 8 shares on NASDAQ soared as much as 10.5% on Tuesday following the announcement, according to Google Finance. The company said its current 1 gigawatt capacity has been 90% taken up. Here's a quote: "By advancing more than 1.5 gigawatts of capacity, we position ourselves to more than double the scale of our platform and address accelerating demand across energy-intensive use cases," Hut 8 CEO Asher Genoot said. So very interesting. I do hold some Bitcoin mining stocks. I think I have Riot. I had bought it a while ago, but I don't hold a lot. It's not like a major bag or anything. I just diversify. I have some stocks. I've had Coinbase stock. That has worked out really well for me. And then I did test out like BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF, buying it on Robinhood, for example. I just wanted to go through the process. So I have some, but once again, not a major holding at all. The majority of my portfolio is in crypto. I am neck deep in crypto. So bullish all the way on crypto assets. Not to say stocks can't do well, but we've seen crypto has outperformed other asset classes, stocks, real estate, precious metals, and much more. So folks, things are moving ahead. Final news item here. Crypto exchange Gemini introduces Ether and Solana staking for all UK customers. So this is great. They're expanding globally. Just yesterday, we talked about the XRP rewards card that they launched where you have a credit card. It's MasterCard powered. You go and you spend on food, gas, whatever it is, and you earn XRP rewards. So that's really great. So they're expanding. I think they're trying to boost their competitiveness. I think for a while they weren't doing much, and other exchanges kind of came and stole their market share, and like Coinbase and Kraken and much more. So great to see that they are expanding. And I think a lot of what hurt them was the Genesis and the staking earning situation, but they're all past that. It wasn't Gemini's fault. It was, Genesis, of course, trading. But thank goodness that's resolved and the customers were made whole and things are moving ahead. So, folks, as I said at the beginning of the podcast, be patient. The market will bottom out and we are going to rally. We're still in a bull market. All the data points, the signals, the metrics, on-chain data, and all these things still confirm that. A great way you can support me in the podcast is by subscribing to my free email newsletter. It is 100% free. Link will be in the description. Check out my book on Amazon. It's available in paperback and digital. And check out my course at mycryptocourse.com. This is a comprehensive course that teaches you every aspect of crypto. Knowledge is power. Expand your knowledge about this asset class and technology. Once again, go to mycryptocourse.com. All the links will be in the description. Folks, thank you so much for watching and listening. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.